Hello everybody, my name is Jared and today I am going to be reviewing for you 9. Nine is a movie that takes place in a world where humanity created the ultimate machine that was smart enough to create machines of its own. Unfortunately, the machine ended up becoming corrupted, which created the machines of its own to kill us, not our enemies, which is why we got the machine in the first place. So, humanity was locked in a never-ending battle. It was man versus machine. Nobody won, both sides completely died. Actually, that sounds kind of familiar. The movie takes place after the war between man and machine, where all of humanity is completely dead. No survivors at all. Instead, the story centers around 9 Ragdolls. You've got 1, the leader of the group, who's a bit of a coward because he wants to stay safe and stuff. You have 2, the oldest one, who likes to go out and explore. 3 and 4 are the twins, who study everything they see, but they can't talk. 5 is basically 2's apprentice, and he only has 1 eye. Actually, that 5 cannot get a break throughout this entire movie, and neither can 2. 6 is one of those guys that's like appears really crazy, but he's actually really smart. We've all seen that guy somewhere before. 7 is basically the adventurous one, the one that knows how to survive on her own. 8 is one's bodyguard, the big strong one, and he's kind of a jerk actually. And then you've got 9, the curious one, the one that wants to go out on an adventure and get all the answers and save his friends, whatever it takes. Which actually turns out to be a bad idea because he ends up getting most of them killed. So what happens in the movie? I'm going to summarize it in a quick version so that this video isn't as long as the last one. Okay, so 9 wakes up on a table because he's a ragdoll. The characters are all ragdolls. You can hold them in your hand, except there's no humans because they're dead. 9 wakes up on a table with this strange device, and the first thing he sees is a dead body, like a dead human body. He later bumps into 2, and 2 is a nice guy, and he fixes 9's voice box for him. But then 2 gets captured by the beast, or something like that. And then later, 9 is found by 5, who brings him back to 1 and 8. And 1 tells him about what happened, about the war between humans and machines, at least from what he knows. When 9 says that he should go save 2, 1 says, no, he's dead. So then 9 and 5 go out to save him. So they manage to track 2 down to an old abandoned factory where 7 comes in. 7, Heaven manages to kill the beast, and then it's, alright, woohoo, hooray, the beast is dead. But then 9 notices, like, a device, a different machine where the device he found at the beginning of the movie fits right into. So he puts it in, it activates a machine, which turns out to be the machine that created the machines that killed all of us. I am going to be saying machine a lot in this video. Yeah, so the machine, the bad guy of this film, kills 2 by absorbing his soul. Harming his soul. 9, 5, and 7 manage to escape to an old abandoned library where they meet 3 and 4. 3 and 4 then tell 9 about what happened, what's going on. Somehow they're able to show a video through 4's eyes with audio and everything. I don't know how that works, but okay. Hey, 9 decides that they have to kill the machine by getting the device back out, and to do that they will need to go back to 6, because 6 appears to know completely about the device. But if they want to go back to 6, they got to go back to 1, and when they get there, 1 like yells at 9 a whole bunch of times for going out, for breaking the rules. And then this weird pterodactyl thing that the machine made like comes in and attacks them. They manage to escape, but the church that the Ragdolls have been hiding in for all these years ends up getting burned down. Okay, so back in the factory, the machine finds 2's dead corpse and creates like a weird caterpillar thing and manages to capture 8 and 7 with it by using 2's dead body as a lure thing. The Ragdolls go to save 7 and 8, but they're too late to save 8. His soul gets absorbed, and they blow up the factory. And it's, woohoo, hooray, we did it, it's finally over. And you know it's not over because there's like 30 minutes of the movie left or something. Because when 5 is standing on a hill, he sees the machine coming out of the smoke in slow motion, and his soul gets absorbed. As they run away, 6 looks back at the machine and notices the souls of his fellow Ragdolls inside the machine's eye, and in telling them that 6's soul gets absorbed. So then 9 goes back to where he first awoke to get some answers, and then we find out that the scientist guy, the guy whose dead body was the dead body that 9 saw in the beginning, he explains in a hologram to 9, he's dead now, it's not a ghost. He explains that he created a machine, but the army took the machine then became corrupt because it didn't have a soul, and it turned against us. And so he created the Ragdolls by splitting his soul into 9 parts and put them into these 9 Ragdolls so that humanity could go on, because humanity is dead by now. Dead by now. It also shows 9 how to pull the device out of the machine. So 9 goes back to his friends and says, okay, here's what's going to do. I'm going to sacrifice myself, and in the process, I want you to pull the device out of the machine. But it ends up being 1 who sacrifices himself, and then 9 pulls the device out of the machine, and then the machine, he dies, the souls are set free, and then the Ragdolls wonder what to do next. And that's basically what happens throughout the entire movie. I do find it to be an entertaining film. It is a Tim Burton movie, so you know there's going to be some creepy stuff in there. But besides, the pterodactyl and the whole caterpillar thing. And the movie does do a good job at being creepy. In the first 10 minutes, you see 3 dead bodies, 1 being the scientist, and then later, when he goes outside to meet 2, 9 sees the dead body of a mother and her son in a car. You don't see their faces, but it's pretty creepy because that's the first thing you see in this movie. There's also no bit of nature at all. The world is almost completely destroyed. There's no green grass, there's no blue sky, there's no white clouds, there's no any of that except in a painting that 3 and 4 show 9 at the library. The only time that it does get more colorful is when is still in some pretty creepy moments, because the souls of the Ragdolls, they're green. That's some green you see in the movie. You see some red in the factory where the machine's working, where you're going to see 8's dead corpse on the ground, and when you see orange, it's the church burning down, and it works because these are colorful colors that are usually supposed to be really happy, but they're used for some really sad purposes. I also like the characters in the movie. Some of them, that is. I did like 9 as the protagonist. I liked him. He's that one protagonist that's willing to do the right thing or whatever. So that's pretty cool. I didn't really find 9 as entertaining as the other characters though. 2 and 5 I liked a lot actually. You don't see 2 much at all. He's only in the movie for 12 minutes total, I think, because he gets killed. He's the first one to get killed by the machine, and 5 gets also killed by the machine during the very end, which is shocking because 5's been sticking with 9 throughout this entire movie, and that really sucks. And like I said, 5 does not get a break. 5's soul later, when the souls are set free, he still has 1 eye, even while he's in a soul form. Yeesh, the poor guy. I actually think that I liked 1 the most, even though he was, a coward and stuff like that, pretty mean to 9. I liked him because he's one of those characters that prides himself above the others. He thinks he's right. He knows what to do. And in the end of the movie, he shows a determination to kill the machine and to help the others, showing that he's just as human as the other Ragdolls. I mean, they're not human, but they do have pieces of a human soul inside of them. So, yeah. I didn't like all the characters, though. The other ones didn't really matter to me. 6 is barely in the movie at all. I think that he's in there less than 2. So when 6 died, I didn't really care. 3 and 4 were, they didn't say anything. And I did like 3 and 4, but because they didn't say anything and they only came in halfway through the movie, I didn't really care for them. And throughout the entire movie, they don't really look injured, at all. 7 did seem like she was an interesting character. When 9 says, we gotta go back to 1 to see 6, she says no. And in a flashback, she glares at 1 for his leadership or something. So it's pretty obvious that she doesn't like 1 for some reason, but it's not really explored that much. And then, I don't know if they were trying to set up a relationship between 9 and 7, Evan, throughout the movie. I mean, it seemed like they were going that way in the end, but they didn't really show much of that. So, I didn't really care about 7 either. So I'm just going to finish it all off. We're talking about the villain, the machine. I liked the machine. I did think that he was, well, I don't know what gender the machine was, because that wasn't, I'm just going to call it a he. I did like the machine. I thought he was creepy because he was actually a good villain. He was actually a villain that succeeded in terminating the entire human race. And he does kill off some of the characters. So I really liked him. which is why it kind of pissed me off to see him so easily defeated. Like, this is a guy who created machines to, kill off the human race. I say that again. And then he's even creating machines to hunt down these Ragdolls, which aren't even as big as machines, and they're not even really fighting back. They're mostly just running away the whole time until the end when they're shooting a cannon at him. And he ends up getting defeated by a simple distraction thanks to one sacrificing himself, allowing 9 to easily pull the device out. So, I didn't really like that. You've got, like that. Kills the human race, can't even stand up to a bunch of Ragdolls. What are the odds? So, this is a short review, so in conclusion, I do like the movie. The atmosphere is good, some of the characters are good, and the machine is a good villain. So, not all of the characters are characters. I didn't like all of the characters, as you saw, but I still liked the movie, so therefore, I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not subscribe down below, maybe leave a like, and I will see you in the next video.